Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much again for joining me here. Hope you're having a great day. We're just going to take another look here at SUI, double check a few key things here. I'm going to educate you on how to draw out fib levels for overextensions like this when we break our all-time high and we are essentially in price discovery. So it's really fun, exciting stuff here. Let's take a look and see what's going on. Congrats again to anybody who took some nice long profit on this coin. Unfortunately, we actually tried to short leading into the weekend in the 178, 180 range, and the price went all the way up to 190 after breaking its descending trend line over the weekend. So again, hey, that happens, folks. Just so you know, be very careful shorting this coin. Right now, it seems like very tempting, and there's a good chance you'll probably find some success, but there's a likelihood of finding a lot of heartache to trying to short this coin just in general. So you're probably better off waiting for a long versus shorting to that level. So just some heads up and friendly advice. We'll take a look at a few key factors. We're going to look at liquidation, open interest, and just kind of see where we're at. Quick congrats to our committee here, of course, for some nice profits outside of SUI. BTC, Bitcoin, 28%, and Aptos, 22% as a rough estimate there. Those were just trades taken leading into the weekend, Bitcoin long, and then of course we had an SUI short and Aptos short. So take a look here now at this coin. What I'll do is we'll jump into liquidation, but I wanted to kind of tell you that the fib levels are important to recognize in these kind of price discovery modes. So I'm going to show you kind of how to draw those out correctly, because I'm sure there's a lot of folks out there that aren't really sure how to do that. Take a look here though. As per usual, a lot of liquidation above the price action. People keep trying to short SUI, totally get it, based on overextension, but it doesn't make a ton of sense in general trying to short this coin. It's just too strong. Especially when you enter price discovery, folks, that's when things get kind of crazy. So just friendly advice, be very careful. Taking a short, we can see what upwards about 235. There's a good chunk of short liquidation here. I mean, we're probably looking at 5 to 6 billion as a rough estimate between here and there. If we look at this here, we zoom out a little bit, we can see a little bit more clear. Yeah, each one of these lines is almost about $750 million. Once again, probably 5-6 billion between now and with that 240 mark. So I would say 240 would seem like a sensible place for the price action to continue. Also, bear in mind there's a ton of liquidation on the downside. This was a lot of incentive for the price action or wanting to short the coin when it was breaking bearish. It absolutely had every sign it wanted to break bearish, but we got a small pump over the weekend, a low volume pump from Bitcoin, and SUI took off. Today it took off even further now that traditional markets are open and we're seeing Bitcoin taking a nice little run here. I'm expecting Bitcoin to pull back down to low 63K range. I think that's a solid consideration for entry. If that happens, SUI will probably pivot off its local high. So let's talk about fib levels. So really quick, we do got our macro fibs, of course, pulled up here, and you don't just keep extending it up. I mean, you can, don't get me wrong, it's not like it's a problem, but to see a short-term trend here, how much further higher is it going to go? We're going to take our local high to our local low. And I know it seems kind of counterintuitive because it's above the zero line here, but the truth is this will give us good indication of where the price is going to go next. We can see that instant rejection off that 1.272 fib level. It's a very common characteristic for rejecting initially. But keep in mind, 0.618 or 1.618 rather, that 225 would seem like a more likely or probable area of retracement. Okay, and again, as the price continues higher, we got to see what kind of pattern forms here shortly. You never just short into an overextension. While it does appear that you would have been profitable in doing so, you really never know where the top is at. And until the top defines itself or establishes itself, then you want to have more statistical probability of taking a short or a long at that point. But right now, though, from a macro perspective, we are respecting this Elliott wave here, pretty solid expansion wave. And then with this pullback here, we're likely to find our fifth and final wave here soon. So I'm not saying SUI is going to pull back significantly. In fact, we'll probably come back down to pivot off our local high of 201. But the general consensus is that it will inevitably pull back. And a lot of times when you see these kind of coins like this, once it hits its top, just say hypothetically that's at 230 or 240, it'll come back down for an ABC pattern, and that usually fulfills some type of head and shoulders. Okay, again, it's a very crude illustration, but just kind of throwing it out there. All right, so SMAs on the daily. Once again, we're above the ascending trend line here. No reason to consider shorting this coin. Definitely looking very strong here. Again, the ascending trend is running concurrent with the 20-day SMA. Until you break below the 20-day SMA, there's no reason to really consider shorting. I know I sound like a total hypocrite because I shorted, but again, it was supposed to be a tight short, and that still didn't even work out. Okay, so for the most part, shorting SUI really just not a great call. I can speak from experience with that one, and I'm sure you can too if you've tried to short this coin. It doesn't make a ton of sense. So we're above 70 in the RSI. When you're above that level, you absolutely do not try to take a trade into it. You're more likely to find success going with the grain. So there's still a larger propensity for the price to continue higher up from here. And if you see the correlation here, you can see the RSI being over 70 and the correlation between the uptrend. So the significant uptrend here and RSI over 70. RSI drops down below 70, comes back down to consolidate. RSI jumps back above 70, and price breaks down for price discovery. So these are all common characteristics. That's why RSI is such a strong tool to give you an indication of where the strength is for this coin. Since it passed that threshold, so to speak, it really just implies that we're more likely to go up than down. Stochastic swinging up, MACD converging, trend strength is high. There's literally 10 out of 10 reasons here not to short this coin. Taking a look here at the 4-hour time frame, we can respect the fact that, hey, we're also above this short-term trend here. All moving averages are below the price action. Our trend strength is super high. MACD, RSI is over 70. There's literally no reason to take a short here. And again, I know what you're thinking, because oftentimes when you see a coin that's massively overextended that does inevitably pull back, will have these kind of characteristics. But the truth is, the odds of success in trying to find the top and trying to short to the right level is extremely low. The best case scenario you have right now is to try to short to the local high, which is this 201.50, 201.5, or sorry, 2.015. And that's going to be the area of retracement. So it's a really common characteristic for coins in this scenario, once they enter price discovery, to retest the local high. Okay, so in other words, price could pull back and pivot off this. That'd be a good place to consider a long. That's really just the bottom line. And again, with these fib levels here, folks, these are temporary until the price actually comes back down to retest that level, or we get a solid daily candlestick closure, which we're a long ways away from right now. That's why we're not updating the fibs for this uptrend to see how far it could retrace. We've mostly, anytime you're in price discovery, you have to try and draw it out like this. I know it seems kind of weird and counterintuitive, but it actually makes perfect sense. Anyways, 4-hour time frame is fully bullish. Hourly time frame is going to say the same thing. It's really not much we can really disseminate here that the price, how far it's going to pull back. The really only anchor weight that we have here, or potential anchor, is of course that local high. It's really common for highs to be retested as new lows, especially in price discovery, which we haven't seen price discovery in quite a while, right? I mean, we look at this here again, we are definitely in this upper echelon here. And you know what, am I misspeaking here? I guess we aren't in price discovery. I'm sorry, 218 was the highest high back in March, okay? So I guess I misspoke, but regardless of that fact, higher highs, price discovery, whatever the case is, we've broken through this recent resistance threshold, okay? And the truth is that's an important area to consider as retracement. Another thing we want to recognize too, and why we got this pulled up, 190, that'll probably be a solid support level if we see the price pull back. Again, the reason why is because that's a daily candlestick closure, and those generally carry more weight. So we're just going to add that to the chart. And future reference too, I always post a playout chart on our Twitter, Telegram, and Discord. That's available here. So it looks a little something like this, where I kind of give you an indication of coins I'm trading and or analyzing. They're all there for you. And I'm going to go ahead and post that here soon. So at this point, we are in a situation where we got to kind of update a few things and just kind of see roughly where we're at. Okay, so all in all, that's where we're at. I appreciate you watching. Hopefully you learned something here today, of course. If you want to become a better trader, cryptocash.tech is a site, link down below. The general rule of thumb here, though, folks, is do not short this coin, okay? If you're going to insist on shorting or taking a long, do so with the world's best exchange. Bitunix, awesome exchange, got some really nice benefits this month. Keep in mind, we got an exclusive deposit bonus running. Link down below for that. Be sure to check them out. They are awesome. Otherwise, I hope you all have a great rest of the day. Thanks again so much for your time. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.